little news update advice. Just remember, if it's too dangerous for you to drive on the roads, ordering food and takeout is dangerous for them too. So don't be like, I don't feel like driving to the store. Let me just order some takeout. Let's not say like screw them people. Other they might want the money. I don't know. I guess that's up to them. It's still snowing quite a bit out here, and we got like we probably got about 4 or 5, maybe six or seven 6 or 7 inches maybe. That's what I'm thinking, like 6 or 7 inches. That's about what we got. Let us know what you got where you're at. Okay, so we're going to take you for another update outside with Shiz Boss. We're going to see what he has to say about the weather, right, Regina?
Yes.
Oh, we'll edit it out one day. We'll figure it out. Oh, so that's what you believe, Shiz? You think we got 6 or 7 inches of snow out there? What do you think, Regina? Do you think we got like 6 or 7 inches of snow out there?
I threw my Barbie doll and a spoon and a pen outside. They gone besides the Barbie doll.
They're about 6, 7 inches deep, right? back later with more updates from Inko, Sean, and Shiz.
He'll be too beat up. He won't be.
Inko Shiz news team.
He's not
We're signing off. We'll be back. Don't forget. Sometimes cookies crumble. Sometimes cookies crumble. It seems like there's some ice outside, so be careful. We'll be aware of the ice.
The cookie's destroyed.
Thanks, Sean and Inko. And yeah, it's still cold. I see yous are still comfy in the house. Like, oh, hold on. Hi, thanks, Shiz and Sean and Inko. It seems it's still cold out there. Thank you from the team down at the news. I see user guys are still in the warm. It's just Shiz out here. I'm going to just pan around, jump around a little bit and show you what's going on out here. There's a little ice coming down. You can see it's a little heavier than the regular snow. So just keep an eye out. Make sure you keep yourself bundled up inside the house on the couch nice and warm.
Do not wear these clothes. Also, tiny hat.
Tiny hat.
Oh.
Go back to sweeping.
We're doing a treasure hunt, so like.
You gotta talk louder. So we're out here doing a treasure hunt. This is Shiz and Regina. Sean and Inko are still inside the studio. We're out here on location now. Inko's carrying a torch.
Yeah, just cause it looks fun. So the things we gotta find: a cute blue pen. A spoon, a Barbie doll, and a Jenga block. It looks like someone.
I found a Barbie. She doesn't appear to have any clothes on. Something we might want to investigate why there's a Barbie out here with no clothes in the snow, especially in this kind of weather. Oh, here we go.
Found the Jenga block.
Inka has found a Jenga block. So we're getting somewhere. We found a bullet over here. Look, is that a bullet?
Yes.
We might want to mark off our bullets. We probably shouldn't clean up. It looks like a crime scene was here, and it seems like we're cleaning up really quick for there being a crime scene. Shouldn't we be investigating this crime scene? Don't you think we should take a little bit of time and maybe take some pictures and measurements and mark out all the different things that we found on the ground and maybe possibly like pull security cameras from like around the area and see if anybody saw why there's a naked Barbie in the snow and bullets and blocks are just raining down on everybody, especially with all this ice out here. There's so much ice out here, and it seems like nobody's really paying much attention to what the ice is doing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think your idea.
Sounds about right. Back to you in the studio. We'll catch back in a little bit and let you know how the investigation is going out here. It seems like, I mean, a crime went down really quick and it was covered up extremely fast. It just vanished like it didn't even happen. It's kind of crazy. But okay, we'll get back to you. We might want to bring some lawyers on to just talk about what kind of activities normally happen at a crime scene. But we'll get back to you on that one. So until later, say later. Later. Hey, thanks for that amazing report. And yeah, we'll get a lawyer on here later, maybe to discuss how you can clean up crime scenes and not really investigate what's going on. And people lose their lives out here every day, and nobody really looks into anything. They just kind of sweep it under the rug. But yeah, we'll check back in with Shiz and Regina. They're out on location. Inko is not in the studio with me. I don't know where Inko went. She ran off, so I'm sure she'll be back with us later, maybe around 9:17. Okay, and we're gonna head back out. We're gonna see. I hear that Inko might be outside by herself doing reports. Shiz is gone, and so we break back in. We're gonna go back out because I hear that Inko is out there doing a report and Shiz is gone. So Regina left me here in the studio by myself, and I guess Shiz left Inko out in the field by herself. So let's check in with Inko and see what's going on.
So, been pretty rough. This is a fake recording tape after we caught the murderer of teens. The teen murderer. So this is made up, most likely. Not fully, but most of it. And how he committed his crime. So if you are not into gore, please click on. So, back on it. Now, we are doing this for that little old treasure hunt sequence we used to do. And surprisingly, an old team member, Chucky, who is behind bars over there, was the murderer. I mean, it might seem surprising, but Chuck would never do something like this. So, while we wait in this brutal weather to try to find the items of the murder,
Okay, thank you, Inko. We were having a little trouble hearing you. It was off and on, and it seems like maybe the cameraman fell and dropped the camera right at the end there. We kind of lost connection. So since we lost connection, we're having trouble hearing. I'll run it back for you. It did appear to me like you were burying a body. I don't know if you were burying a body or it sounded like you said you were reenacting burying a body, and that Chucky, our suspect, has been arrested. Everything's out. It's not that we are agreeing with the findings so far. We're not really positive of what was going on, but it looked like Inka was reenacting it for us, and she was showing us that it looked like Chucky had buried the body there. So it's alleged, of course. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty. Just remember, you're innocent until you are proven guilty. So even if you have to sit in jail for something you didn't do for a while, it's okay because eventually they'll let you out, even if you weren't involved at all or did nothing wrong. They'll eventually figure that out and let you out. Or they'll find out that you did it and you'll stay there forever. So I guess we'll check back later with more updates. So we're gonna move in now for a closer look with one of our alleged suspects, the alleged killer's associated family member. Just give us a moment and we'll check in with her in 1 second and we'll do a short little interview. Thank you, Sean. This is Tom. We're over here with Lily now. Lily is the alleged suspect's associated family. I believe Lily. Can you please talk to us, Lily? Can you tell us how you feel about? Was that your father or your grandfather that did that? Was that your grandfather that did that? That was your uncle. Oh, so that was your uncle that committed the crime. So I mean, how do you feel about your uncle allegedly being a murderer? You feel sad about it. I would feel really sad too if my uncle allegedly murdered somebody. So do you have anything to say about this alleged crime and the alleged quick cover up of this crime? It had to have been him, you said? It just had to be him. I mean, who else could it have possibly been? Who else could have possibly committed any of these crimes except for, of course, it had to be Chuck. It had to be Chucky, right? Right, Emily? It had to be? Lily? Oh, I'm sorry, Lily. Oh, I apologize, Lily. We'll go back to you in the studio, Sean. We're wrapping up here with Lily now. She seems very distraught and upset about this entire event. Thanks, Tom. I'm back here. This is Sean again. We got some breaking evidence while we were listening in with Tom interviewing. I believe he said that was Lily. Apparently the niece or so to the. She said it was her uncle that committed the crime. So as we were along those lines, we were seeing it. It seemed like we've heard a lot about scripting nowadays. A lot of things going on in the world that is scripted lately, and it's almost like people are reading from scripts word line for line about activities and events, and it seems like there are people like really going along with these crimes. And I heard that there may be another murder that is maybe one was fake and one was real. Was We're not really sure. We do have to check back on our information to see if one of these was allegedly a false allegation and never was a crime committed, and then later an actual crime of murder was committed, and there was maybe a cover up. We're not 100% positive yet at this time, but just know we will do our due diligence in making sure that law and order is abided within this country, then, and that things are handled in a timely fashion. We don't really want to leave people hanging along for too long. But I mean, sometimes you just gotta wait. So check back and wait and see.
Hello, we are back with Inko, and the little weather forecast, it looks snowy. But earlier we did see a shovel. I don't know if you can see that. A shovel outside. Isn't that convenient? And a boom. Now, we have charged 2 people for it. One who is obviously the murderer, Chucky, but we can't say until evidence is found besides red hair. And we have Regina, which is surprising for a lead newscast, and the president of Reginaville. Well, not Reginaville, but Regina Village. So it's so surprising that. Hold on, give me 1 second. That she was the murderer for that crime. Surprising. So we are up for a court date to see which one of her kin or friends or family can take her throne from Reginaville. We will check up with Shizanenko in a second, who first faced the crime trying to do a treasure hunt for a spoon and a pen, and ended up finding the dead body, the weapon, which was a Jenga block, but we found to be a literal Glock in that little thing that you just had to press a button. They know because Shiz now has a tiny little hole in his foot from it. And a bullet. Sorry if it looks like I'm reading a script. I wrote down my words, so I'm just like, okay? Because I cannot remember stuff. We will check in with Shiz and Inko. Or maybe just Shiz. We don't know her mental state. Bye.
Oh, thank you. So we're gonna check in with Shiz for a moment. I think he has a little bit of updates for us. Hi, thank you, Sean. This is Shiz here. So I'll just update you a little bit about what Tina was telling us. So what Tina was telling us is we found out some really strange activity involving a phone that was found, and the way that a crime scene was discovered in just a scavenger hunt, and they found a body when they were just looking for a spoon and a pen, and I mean it all sounds very elaborate. And then I'm sorry, hold on, we have breaking information. Hold on.
So, based on the information, apparently Chucky is innocent. It was Regina the whole time. That's why we hired Tina, because we cannot have a newsbreaker on a court case. And apparently, Regina has committed several other crimes and got several other people in jail. We cannot notify them, so we are just shortening every prisoner sentence by 5 years unless physically seen doing it. And according to the guidebook, she might make her own rules, but murder cannot be undone.
Oh, wow. So that is some really breaking news. That is amazing. I love that line that you can make your own rules, but murder cannot be undone. Back to you, Sean. Well, Shiz and Tina, we really appreciate that update, and we're gonna cut to what is going on now with Tom. He's checking in as Tina's showing some of this evidence. It appears that maybe there's some confusion as where she's trying to prove that her sister, who definitely appears to be the one that committed the crime, and not Chucky, who appears to be innocent. Chuck, I believe to be innocent. It really seems like this is Tina's sister, but so she's doing an independent investigation of whether her sister committed these crimes, even though we know that her sister, we found out, had committed other crimes similar just by investigating this false allegation against Chuck. So we're going to dive in. Tom, let us know what's going on down there in the scene with Tina, and what kind of information we are gathering and dealing with, and how we're handling evidence. Okay, thank you, Sean. This is Tom. So we're checking in now with Tina. She's been really going at it for a while. It's very late in her day. It's been days now. She's really stressed out over here, as you can see, and she's looking for any bit of evidence to prove that her sister didn't do this. Any little tiny bit of evidence, like maybe somebody confusing names and somebody confusing dates and times, and maybe just people not getting their story completely straight, is really breaking on this. And I heard more about this phone activity, and how that if people were maybe already deleting evidence within their phone within during the time of this investigation, before it became an investigation about them, that our lawyers say that also is a crime to erase information and delete information and get rid of physical evidence. I'm hearing, I'm seeing here on our prompters that, see our teleprompters that we read from. I'm here looking and seeing that they're telling us that there's been a lot of evidence maybe distributed. There's still a lot of evidence around, and so there's a lot of evidence that's really going to lead us in the right, correct direction, and we will find the answers and the true story behind the loss of this nice soul here that was lost, who and an innocent man who has suffered such a great ordeal for something they did not do, and now just for so many people to be involved, and Tina really believes her sister to be innocent. She's not sure how to really understand that her sister may be a fairly evil, calculated person. And evil, calculated people tend to still make mistakes. So let's check in and see what Tina's going through now.
Alright, so I have all the evidence. Like one time, I printed our entire logbook right here about it and just hid in the thing because the police went to search my house believing I did it at first because the DNA was so similar because we are separate twins. If y'all know what that is, that's basically like, oh, my sister Gina, who's 21, was born 3 years before me. and then I was born using the same, stuff. But one of the parts is even the movements of right now on these cards, which I also hidden. They shake their head and mutter, very disappointing. That was the start of the conversation. So, had me. And then next part, they reminisce out loud. I think I stole more money than I earned. Boom! They had to kill that person because they were rich. They were rich as and
Hey, sorry about that. We'll try to make sure that we keep it clean. And in this news agency, we really try to be respectful and mindful of our viewers, and we try to keep any bad language down. I know we use some really hard terms like murder and putting a hard R on murder. It can be triggering to people. But we're not trying to trigger. We're not. Let me repeat. We are not trying to trigger anybody. We are just trying to report the facts as we see them coming into our news agency in the drips and drabs of the information that we're getting and putting it together.
So I have all the evidence stockpiled. One of them is cinnamon. I know it might sound weird, but I love the smell of canned tuna. The company of the biggest tuna company in the world. And they did not know, and that was their slogan. The mascot, which is a tuna fish, sighing and admitting, I know it might sound weird, but I love the smell of tuna and eating it. They just need to put an eating at the and boom, next one. They let out a groan and then say, guess who had one too many milkshakes? Okay, if you look in the science dictionary, you would see murder corporates used to use milkshake as a term to murder. And look, in this book, I have a murder's heart rate. Okay, basically it's like this. And then kind of straight but bumpy. So regular heartbeat, then fast, rapid, and then regular. That fast, rapid part is the.
Sorry, as she goes through, like she said, there's hard evidence. There's information. It could take us. We'd have to read this to you. It would take us so long to read this information to you, so that you can understand the information. And we definitely took the time. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll go right back.
A time frame in a news segment. Down the time for at 3.99, not 3.99. Look at military times. That's actually 3.05. Weird. By 3.05, I was at the store. That was a court case. Guess what? I was there with my sister, and at 3.05, the murder was found and done.
Well, I mean, that sounds like some hard-hitting facts. Them times do not seem at all suspicious to me, or the fact that, I mean, I imagine that at that store, there would be cameras and security footage time-stamped and dated for the exact correct time of these events. And without provocation, we can decide that times and dates really matter, and timelines are very specific. And things that happen can only be changed monetarily at times where you may change one note that says one thing or another, but there's going to be mistakes. So, there's going to be paper trails and electronical signatures and different trails, and there's just so much evidence being thrown at us. The evidence is really just flying at us. It's so insane how much evidence we're gathering in such a rapid pace. And we pretty much had this whole thing happen, solved. Look at all that evidence. And we pretty much, we had this stuff all knocked down and solved pretty quickly.
Here's my sister at the costume store at the exact timestamp. Couldn't be her. But in the book, it says everything in a grocery store must be
So it sounds like there's a lot of conspiracies being thrown around because it seems like there's been dates and times and ledgers changed.
Another picture.
And a lot of
I was at the park an hour while the murder was being done.
Oh wow! And I imagine, was that picture taken on a cell phone?
Yes.
Oh, that picture was taken on a cell phone. So I imagine that most people are not technology advanced enough to understand. Let's check back in with Sean. Has a little bit of information on this. We'll check back in with him in a moment. Oh, look, I guess I'm right here, and I'd like to let you know that on Androids and iPhones, there's specific features that tag a location and a timestamp and a date of exactly when a picture or a video or a message is sent or received the first time, the second time, the third time. If you go back in later and you attempt to change the information, the original satellite data. Oh, I'm sorry. We're getting a little confused here. I'm glad Tina saved me here.
I showed up the evidence. When I printed it, it had a mountain of snow, a dead body in the corner, blood on her hand. It's cold outside. A bird covered in blood from her hands. This is shit.
Oh my God, that is amazing. We're really learning a lot of information. Oh, and I meant, so this all happened within a small town. And in a small town, there's only one radio tower that handles all the cell phone and internet trafficking that happens within that cell phone tower. And every single location can be pinged, and they can pinpoint exactly when, where, and what time any photo, phone call, text message, social media message, and especially there's apps like Snapchat that are notorious for logging all this information. And it would be so hard to change the information on all of your phones at the same time. So, I'm sorry, we'll get back to this in a minute. News breaking.
I'm Ingo, and I found so much evidence about the murder. I do not stand for this. See this picture? Let me just count many.
Man, we're really getting turned up here. We are cooking right now, aren't we?
Yes.
Let's see what other information we have.
So this, I'm going to put off Regina. This, kill E. I put key for Killy. Okay? She said, okay? Regina said, and actually, what kind of food do I remind me of? He answered, a blood orange. Okay? From General. I don't know what they look like. But then, after this, a few hours later, she asked for her home address. His home, it was, so this is ours home, and it will only take 2 hours to go there, 1 hour, and then to commit the murder. And then, while we were on the scene of the murder out there, we seen Regina, right here. So she had committed, because guess what? A few days ago, we put caution tape around that zone because it was a billionaire's house and he was getting threatened by multiple people from different phone numbers. All the evidence you need.
Oh, wow. Tom here, and I'm back to tell you that I've learned a lot about this cell phone technology as we were reporting on it, because it seems that Inco's letting us know that not only was there a time frame and a relative distance between these locations of what happened, also, I'd like you to know that when you switch off your device or your device dies, or your battery runs all the way out, as soon as your device immediately turns off or the battery runs out, which you can tell the difference when going through these logs that we're going to be going through, you can tell when the phone was either turned off intentionally or if a phone's battery died. And in fact, all the way up to that exact moment, it records the exact location and pins it. And as soon as it happens, it even updates SoundCloud and Google Docs and everything. It sends everything from your phone into your cloud server to make sure that you do not lose your information. And that holds a lot of information. And just understand that Tina's coming in now to tell us that Inko's lying. Why is Inko lying?
Because look, this was the string of evidence. She took it, threw it. Because nobody would say that the murder was close to my sister's home. Because guess what? She lives in the Blue House, which is like the White House, but for her town. And that was 24 hours to get from there to the motor corporate home. And I ain't juggling it.
So it sounds like some rich people with money involved here too, and it sounds like people were making a lot of threats ahead of time, and there was a lot of going on, a lot of people coming after, maybe trying to harm this person. So it could have just been anybody. But also, I'd like you to know that when you turn a phone off intentionally, that the battery still has power to it, and the battery still sends signal to the location and the time and where the phone is traveling and while it's traveling. So there's a lot of information, and a lot of apps are on phones, and people don't go in and turn off individually. So they could have 5, 6, 7, 10 apps on their phone, all sharing location all at the same time. And some of these share location like Snapchat throughout an individual area on a continuous basis. And it actually even shows when people that are friends or acquaintance on these apps are within close proximity to each other. So if I'm standing right next to you with my phone committing a crime, even if you're not committing a crime, but if you just happen to be on your phone snapping away while I'm snapping away at somebody's neck or murdering somebody or robbing a store or putting on a shirt at a store or going to the bathroom, these things all show. And it actually shows within feet, like even up to inches, like maybe get as close as 6, 7 inches proximity to each other, and 6, 7, that matters because these numbers really matters in life. It could be 6, 7 foot down, it could be 6, 7 foot away. These are things that matter. The height of a person could be 6, 7. Heights matter. A lot of these things matter tremendously, and people who do independent investigations really sit down and they take the time and they go thoroughly through all the information. Now there's just been an attack on a reporter. This is really getting crazy. People are getting out of control in this Reginaville that we're in, and we're gonna go to Rich Tom now. We're gonna see what Rich Tom has to say. While I'm busy dealing with an assault that just happened to me.
Hello, I am Rich Tom, and I'm here with some evidence because Rich Bond was my brother. So we have evidence. He was right here in the middle of the snow. The snow. No one. The nearest house was 2 hours away. And by the snow piling up even on him, he would have been so far. One second, yes, sir. I need a smoke break. Talk to them about my evidence.
So it appears that the evidence we have here is that the nearest house was 2 hours away, and it seems like you possibly get there so fast. And I hear coughing all the time, like this cough. It sounds familiar. It sounds differently though, but it sounds familiar. But it does sound differently at times. So anyway, the nearest house is 2 hours away with the snow covering everything and everywhere. So it really makes a difference because we leave a lot of tracks in the snow. When things happen in the snow, there is 100% fact that tracks and footsteps and shovel marks and all these things would be visible. And people drop stuff in the snow too. So I mean that's funny because people fail to realize that while in the commission of committing a crime, that they could easily drop something small and it be left behind for somebody else to find that links them to that crime. Back to you.
Alright, we are here with Rich Tom, and I must say, the mini movie in the middle of this is going to be great. Here's the mini script about it. It's about Stringer. Basically, he gets lost. I find him, and then basically try to kill him. And what's that? No. I did drink a lot last night, but there would be no one to assist him there. So, regular short film about Beyond, which I'm gonna go get ink. I can't do the cutscene.
Hold on, we'll be back with Inca for the cutscene.
Ink out here, and we are our mini movie.
See, this is Sean here, and as we close out on this investigation and this absolute 100% non-fabricated, fabricated true story, or whatever you like to say, we here at the news station we like to report facts. So for us to bring you an entire short film or movie on this information for you to maybe just really dive in deep with us and see the immense amounts of information and the immense amounts of evidence that is left behind when people commit crimes that, I mean, maybe it was a game at some times, maybe it was fun to some people when they commit crimes, maybe some people just kind of play along. I did hear something about when there's conspiracies that not everybody will be charged in a conspiracy, but that doesn't mean that their full cooperation would not have already been signed off on. See, people love to sign deals. I mean, in life, it's kind of like our goal is we set out in life to just sign the biggest deal we possibly can. And so I close by okay, how was that?